What is up, Starseeds? It's Sid, and today we are going to be talking about masculine and feminine energy, specifically in men, and then straight women and their dating habits with those men. So, I don't want this video to be offensive at all. I don't think this is that controversial of a subject. Maybe it is. I don't know. I think everything I talk about is kind of up for debate and controversial in some senses, though, so oh well. I've already done a video on masculine and feminine energy. I've done relationship videos in the past, not at all because I'm qualified to talk about it, but because I enjoy talking about it, and I think some of these thoughts are interesting. There's kind of two distinct areas that I'm going with this video topic. So one of the areas is the pattern that at least I myself might have in dating, to where I'll date one guy who is maybe more masculine, and then the next guy is maybe more feminine, and then the next guy is maybe masculine and then feminine and masculine and feminine, and there's a little bit of a pattern there. And obviously we cannot say, oh, this guy is a masculine guy and this guy is a feminine guy. There is a spectrum. Everything is on a spectrum. I'm very aware of this. Not everything is black and white. It is a scale of gray. So I'm not trying to label this X as masculine and this X is feminine, but I've noticed a pattern, and I just kind of realized this recently. So, and I don't think these guys could tell you necessarily which guy is masculine and which guy is feminine. I think only an outsider looking in could see that. Me being an outsider because I'm not one of the guys. The guys themselves, I don't know if they could say that about themselves. But me, since I'm not one of those guys, I can kind of see, or at least from a girl's perspective of who is dating them, there are certain things about, especially if you're a woman dating a guy, would you feel safe with them going to a big city? This is not the only question you can ask yourself to see if this is more of a masculine man or more of a feminine man, because I would feel safe going into the city with men who I actually would consider more on the feminine end of what I've dated. However, on the other side of this, I don't necessarily think there is a masculine guy that I would feel unsafe with going to the city, unless the reason why I felt unsafe with them is because of who I was afraid they would talk to or something, or start something. So there is kind of a double-sided thing to that question in and of itself. Would you feel safe going to the inner city with them? The other thing is, are they straight as well, or are they like bisexual? Because I have dated a handful of guys who, after the fact or during the fact, they told me that they were bisexual. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But now looking back as a 24-year-old lady, I'm like, I don't know if I would want that going forward. I like guys who are open-minded, maybe not in that sense, not a deal breaker. I just don't know if our philosophies align. Me back in the day was like, cool, I don't care. Back in the day, I made a video about how being polyamorous and being pansexual is this like super open-minded, possibly high vibe thing. I'm not totally against that concept. I just think in these human bodies, maybe we were meant to express things a certain way, and maybe we agreed to these bodies for a certain purpose, you know? So without further ado, I kind of want to get into the other part of the video on how a lot of girls now, girls who go get their nails done, girls who kind of have that popular girl vibe, who go and get Botox maybe and things like this, they tend to go for more feminine men, and I'm not sure why. That's not always the case, But a lot of girls, a lot of the popular guys to think are attractive, either in school or just in the world in general, are these more kind of preppy, frat boy, kind of feminine guys who wear shorts that are like too short, don't like to go outside or go camping and stuff. Like, what? I just don't find that attractive. I think I find more of a masculine man attractive. You don't have to be all big and buff, but it's not cute to not want to get your hands dirty. I feel like feminine women like a guy who can protect them, not a guy who's like drinking wine. So then that makes me question, well, are these girls who are like very hyper consumerism, who are trying to look for these cute clothes and who are always going shopping and who are always getting their nails done and who want to be a big, you know, CEO, entrepreneur, maybe want to have a fancy car and have their own business doing eyebrows and stuff or cutting hair, and that's their big thing. They're all about making money and they got dreams and goals, and they don't want to raise kids. They don't want to live a nice, quiet life in the country. They want to be in the city. Are those girls masculine for that? Is that a way to define masculinity instead of girls who have this, you know, like butch lesbian kind of look to them? Is masculine now the overly get your claws on and go buy clothes and get a fancy expensive car? Is that the new masculine for girls? I don't want to raise kids. I want to go out partying and stuff even when I'm like 30. Is that the new masculine for women? I don't know. I think at the end of the day, you know, screw the labels. That doesn't matter because, like I said, everything is on a spectrum. But it's just some interesting things to think about because everybody likes to use labels now. I say screw the labels, but this is just kind of something to think about. Do you guys have a pattern of kind of the types of people that you date? Do you go for people who are into one thing and then the next person you date is not into that thing, they're into a different thing, and then you kind of ping pong back and forth between these polarities? Even if you have a certain type of, oh, I like open-minded people who are hippies, who are maybe a little bit of this or that, but are there types of like mechanically inclined, not mechanically inclined, or really likes this food, really doesn't like that food? Maybe these are all just synchronicities, or maybe there's something to that. Is it the same concept of how like we tend to have a blue president, then a red president, then a blue president, then a red president, and we ping pong back and forth between Democrat and Republican? Is it that same concept, or does that not work at an individual level in the same way? Or does it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of all this. Try to keep it respectful. I feel like I've been pretty respectful. I think you guys know that I don't have any ill intentions with this, and I'm not trying to like make fun of anybody or offend anyone, but I'm also not going to walk on eggshells when I speak. I'm going to say what I want to say. Peace out.